Lucifer Morningstar and the Seven Deadly Sins by Skyrider X3. 3. We'll start with the summary. Lucifer Morningstar is the undisputed king of hell, but he doesn't rule alone. His oldest friends and confidants are the seven deadly sins, the lords and masters of their own rings in his infernal domain. After his wife and daughter leave him, they're all he has left. Join him as his last friends in the underworld give him comfort as he comforts them, and as Mammon gives him one hell of a headache. Chapter 1 and Seven Deadly Sins. Lust. Lucifer sat in his study tinkering with a rubber duck. This was his third or fourth duck he had made in the last few weeks. He was trying to get it to do a backflip, but so far all he had been able to get it to do was roll over or on its head. And it was just, if he had just twerked the leg gyros a little bit, he could. Berserk. The sound of his doorbell startled him, and the Short King yelled in shock. In his surprise, he sent the screwdriver through the leg, which landed on his desk, and it began to spin like a top. Son of a witch! He cried out, tossing his screwdriver onto his desk. Dang it, there goes my whole day. Berserk! The doorbell went again, and Lucifer groaned and tossed the screwdriver to the desk. Then he stood back up and adjusted his bow tie. Vex! He shouted. Tell whoever's there at the door or to be it. I'm busy. He picked up a screwdriver and started flipping the leg off and snatched the flipping leg off the table. It twitched and whirred in his hand, begging to move. He started to tinker with it and just managed to get at the twitching thing to settle down when the doorbell went again. Berserk! It buzzed again, sounding angrier than before. Vex! Lucifer groaned. Vex, the door, please. Berserk! Vex, what's taking you? Oh, he paused. Long. That's right. He had forgotten. He had given Vexel, his steward, time off to visit her family in Wrath. He had given all his household staff time off too. He had given all his household staff time off 2 months ago. Right. Berserk! All right, already, he shouted. It's sitting up and straightening his bow tie. The bell rang 3 more times before he reached the front door. Lucifer grumbled to himself all the way, but refused to teleport straight to the step, fly, or run. As annoying the bell was, he was the king of hell, so he would keep whoever that was waiting in suspense. He drew in his breath and touched the doorknob. Lucy! A deep-throated voice called as his front door exploded in words. Before he could figure out what was happening, he found himself swept off his feet by a pair of remarkably large and equally strong arms. Then he was hugged into someone's chest. It's been too long, Lucy, the deep-throated voice bellowed, giving him another tight squeeze. The strong arms held him out in front of whatever demon they belonged to. With his eyes fully came back into focus, there were 3 things he was able to make out. A mane of blue feathers, a broad chest, and a pinstripe suit. He blinked. D, is that you? You, the Lord of Lust smiled. Who else would it be, you little rascal? He said, ruffling Lucy's hair as if though he were a child. And Asmodeus, the king of lust and hell's eternal bachelor. The man was 9 foot tall, wisecracking, horny as heck, party animal. He was arrogant, lewd, and had a habit of public humiliation. Publicly humiliating the people around him. He was also one of Lucifer's oldest friends. Lucifer chuckled. D, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be down lust? As a HPR said you were headlining new talent at Aussies. Shouldn't you be working the floor? He realized at the moment that words came out of his mouth, and a giant smile broke out on Asmodeus' face, who let him drop to the ground. The big man started to pose in a manner that Lucifer imagined he thought was very attractive, but reminded Lucifer of a stirring rooster. Oh, Lucy, don't you know I'm working the floor every night, he said with a wink. The Prince of Darkness laughed. I guess you are, he agreed, picking himself up the floor. So shouldn't you be down there working the floor, getting ready for the new headliner? Asmodeus chuckled. You really have been locked up here for a while, haven't you, Lucy? Visit Raleigh started Oz a month ago, and he's been a hit. Lucifer rubbed his forehead. Oh, that's right, the clown guy, right? Well, what, uh, like, you're the one to talk, Mr. Ringmaster, he said with a chuckle, wrapping an arm around Lucifer and shuffling him into the lounge. Come on, why don't you have one of your stuff pour us a drink? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. It's just why don't you have one of your staff pour us a drink? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. It's just us. I gave my staff vacation. The blue demon rolled his eyes. Oh, Lucy, you're gonna make me pour my own drink, aren't you? This is why no one ever comes to visit. Lucifer eyes told her. Why no one ever visits me. A minute later, he was in his lounge, relaxed and sitting back in his comfortable armchair while his guest fished around in his liquor cabinet for a glass. At the sight of his friend running around in there, his head buried fully in there as if he was rummaging for something, brought a smile to his face. Ah, there it is, Dee cried, emerging from the cabinet with a bottle of something reddish brown. I knew you still had it. He tossed the bottle to Lucifer, who failed to catch it. The bottle in his stomach, and he let out an oof. Oh, suck it up, you big baby, Dee teased as he sat up to his chair and popped a pair of glasses on the table between them. Lucifer's eyes fell on the bottle. This is Bee's candy mead. Eat, Asmodeus sung, stealing the bottle from Lucifer and popping it open. Remember when she gave this to you? The week she got drunk and partied her way through all 7 rings and passed out in your yard, Dee said, pouring the mead into the glasses. How do you know we haven't finished this by now? Lucifer asked. Oh, please, you're trying to forget that week as much as she had. As he, in fact, had forgotten all about that week up until Asmodeus pulled the bottle out of his cabinet, but he thought it might be rude to say that. Down on the hatch, Asmodeus chimed, passing Lucifer his glass. Sighing, Lucifer took the glass and sipped. The cold drink only burned slightly as it passed over his tongue. It tasted like candied apples without tasting like apple cider. It was good, to his surprise, really good. Dee was right. Right. How did Beelzebub do it? He sighed contentedly, but his brief smile faded when Asmodeus screwed him slightly. The blood rushed to his cheeks. Pretty nice, isn't it, Dee? Lucifer coughed. What are you doing here? Always straight to the point, aren't you, Lucy? Dee, he repeated, narrowing his eyes. Be straight with me. Not even for you, old friend, Asmodeus replied with a wink. But I'll tell you why I'm here. Lucifer groaned and took another sip from his glass. I'm here to take you out for a night on the town. And he blinked. You're what? Not in the town. My town. Specifically, I'm bringing you to Ozzy. It's for a night of a madcap fun, Dee explained. You what to? Lucifer stated. Lucy, come on. You've been working so hard lately, his friend said, scooting his chair closer to him, scratching the floor and putting an arm around his shoulder. And we haven't seen each other in ages, so I thought, why not have the fun with you and with my best friend? Lucifer steamed. I'm flattered, and I would love to spend time with you, but I can't go to Ozzy's. Oh, the rooster man crowed. And why not? Because it's a love club, and I'm... The words froze in his throat, and he fell down his ring finger. Married. Lucy, I love you. You know that, Asmodeus said with a touch of sympathy in his voice. But Lilith has been gone for 2 years. Swallowing, Lucifer reached out to caress wrist the ring on his finger. 18 months. And his finger, his friend reached out and put a hand on his shoulder. Lucy, she's probably not coming back. He was right. And he was absolutely right. He knew deep down that Asmodeus was right. 10,000 years together and she just walks out the door, he croaked. Asmodeus smiled, which is exactly what you should do. Lucifer looked up as his friend and looked at his friend's crooked neon green smile. Come again? And that's exactly what you should do, he repeated. You want me to come down to Ozzy's, Dee explained. Okay, but I thought you were saying and hook you up with someone new. There it is. Asmodeus laughed and refilled this glass. As, ha ha ha, Lucy, baby, you've been cooped up in your mansion for how long? And he rolled the ice around his glass. Oh, a while. Exactly. First your daughter moves out, then your wife walks out on you, and you've been locked up in your house ever since. And now, what have you done and sent your staff out? So now you're a prince, completely isolated in your castle. Do you know what's going to make you lonely? Horny. That the 9-foot tall demon prince scooped his chair close enough so that the arms were touching, and then he wrapped his own big blue arm around Lucifer's shoulder. And Ozzy's just a place for people like that. Despite the overwhelming sense of panic, Lucifer, his brain, he managed to recall just enough about his best friend's restaurant to lunch a week, but a protest. D, isn't Ozzy's for couples? He asked suspiciously. Is it? He asked, his voice tinged with surprise. Well, in my rush to come over, I must have completely forgot about that. Lucifer narrowed his eyes. D, he said, stretching out the syllables as far as it can go. I suppose I could bend the rule for the big boss of hell himself, but I'm sure we could find someone interested. Lucifer planted his glass on the table and looked out of his chair. A blind date? Really? Lucifer, please, hear me out, Asmodeus pleaded, his voice relaxed and chilled. I got a girl down at the restaurant you'll absolutely love. The king of hell started to pace, suddenly nervously. You can't just spring this on me. I'm not just going to go have dinner with one of your girls at a moment's notice. What, Lucy, baby? Do you really think I'd said it with one of my girls? Asmodeus as pretending the very idea was in. You deserve better than the ladies. I have worked the polls. Lucifer frowned. I was talking about your waitresses. Well, you can do better than them. The lust demon took another gulp of his candy mane and grinned. I was thinking you could have a drink or two with our headline tonight, the clown. And Fizzarolli. No. He and I are having some business discussions after the show tonight. No, we have a musical guest coming in tonight. I spoke with her this morning, and we would just love the chance to grab some dinner and she would just love the chance to grab some dinner with you after the show. Lucifer raised an eyebrow. And that's all, just dinner? The demon prince chuckled and swept up the hand through his mane. Just dinner. Then, who knows, maybe you could bring her back and eat her D! Lucifer interrupted. Look, I appreciate the offer, but I'm not interested in some random hookup with a stranger. Asmodeus, his bright green eyes brightened. Not even with Veronica Mayday? Lucifer stopped panting around and turned to Asmodeus, giving the big blue demon his chance. His full attention. Veronica Mayday? Mayday? The pop star? Yeah, the thought might get your attention. Sweat began to bend at Lucifer's brow, and he started to fuss with his hair. You arranged dinner with Veronica Mayday? Hey, oh yeah, Lucy baby, Asmodeus said with a wink. Dinner and dessert. Flustered, he turned around with his head and started to try to fix his appearance, using the casing of a portrait on the wall as a mirror. Asmodeus' bright smile shone proudly in the dim reflection on the glass. She went through a pretty bad breakup lately. He poured her chest into a relationship for years, and the jerk never recuperated it. She finally walked out on him and is looking for someone new, just like a certain friend of mine. But why would someone like her be interested in me? Lucifer asked, nervously trying to comb a lock of hair into place. Dude, are you for real? He turned around and saw Asmodeus staring at him with a blank, disappointed face. They met each other's gaze for a few minutes, and then Lucifer's blood went to his cheeks. Right, king of hell, right, he said, turning around and resting his forehead on the wall. Of course. King of hell, patron of sin, lord and master of the seven rings, and an undisputed sovereign of all demonkind. That was him. That's Lucifer Morningstar. That's who Lucifer Morningstar was now. What woman wouldn't want to be with a man like him? And now, that's all he had to offer. There was a moment of silence. Then behind him, he heard the chair slide back and Dee's footsteps. He felt his friend's hand on his shoulder again. Come on, Lucy. You think I'd set you up with a gold digger? Lucifer looked up at Asmodeus, and the corner of his mouth pulled back into a knowing smirk. Okay, other people, well, sure, but not you. Well, oh, so long as we're clear on that. But on that, Lucifer said with a chuckle. Asmodeus let out a bellowing laugh. Ha ha ha. Mayday might be attracted to the title, but I think I know you pretty well. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think you two were a good match, he explained. She's pretty smart. She's smart, pretty, has a voice as smooth as silk, and her you-know-whats are bigger than your head. And he looked up at the portrait up on the wall. It was a painting of his parents. Next to him and his daughter, a little girl, only 8 years old, and his wife, Lilith, taller than the both of them. Even now, their baby girl was fully grown. She had been intelligent, beautiful, and the voice of an angel, and she just left. He sighed. Thank you, Dee, but I don't think I'm ready. The smile on his friend's face flattened for just a moment, then somehow managed to stretch further. Lucy, listen to me. I've had my share of bad breakups, and I've learned the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. It was Lucifer's turn to smile. I know, Dee, but that was more than enough for me. Lilith and I, this all started with us. The choices we made let us all down here. I'll get back out there someday. I promise. Asmodeus said. Asmodeus raised a single green eyebrow. Dee, I promise. Swear on the rings of hell themselves. But when I do, I want to be looking out for something real. Can you look at me in the eye and tell me that Veronica Mayday is looking for a real relationship right now? Yes, Asmodeus said, proudly puffing out his chest. I can. Lucifer looked away. That's good, Dee, but I can't. He told her, returning a face to his portrait, 'cause if I went out with her, it would just be to fill in the hole Lilith left behind. He had never seen his friend so crushed before. The mask of good cheer he had been wearing seemed to crack and fade, but it was replaced with not with disappointment but concern. I understand. And Lucy, see, you do? The Prince of Lust chuckled. I don't know anything about love, Lucy, but I know that when Lil walked out, it hurt you. We all knew, and we've been worried. I thought I had a solution, but I guess Lucifer gave his friend a sat at but reassuring smile. Veronica deserved someone who wouldn't be thinking of his ex-wife while going out with her. Considering her last man wasn't all that either, I couldn't help but agree, he said, before adding, though the thought of getting railed by the King of Hell would probably take that off the edge. Sorry, Dee. Can't blame a man for trying to help a friend. Osmo is turned and started towards the door, but before he could take one more step, Lucifer swept his hand and wrapped around his finger, and wrapped his fingers around one of the big guy's arms. When Asmodeus turned and back to him, Lucifer grinned. Now, just to hold Now hold on just a minute. You don't think I'm going to throw away... Oh, out the door. Or you... I'm going to throw you out the door. Or just because I'm up for a date, D. I can still go drinking with my best friend. And I'd be an idiot to throw away a chance to meet Verosca. A flippin' Mayday. Asmodeus' smile returned. Lucifer took his hand off his arm. Just give me a minute to get ready, and we'll ride to less together. He was halfway up the stairs when he heard Dee call out to him again. Lucifer, you know we'd do anything for you, right? The sheer melancholy in his friend's voice made Lucifer turn back. His face was etched with a sadness and profound, and made Lucifer's heart break. We fell for you, Lucy. Be, Bel, Satan, Lev, me, and Mammon, he said with a hollow laugh. We all followed you into hell, all of us. There's nothing and we wouldn't do for you. Lucifer looked at his friend, and who seemed so small, and with that sad expression on his face, he forced himself to smile. I know, Asmodeus, and you don't have to say it. Asmodeus, Lucifer pressed, gliding down the stairs to place a hand on his friend's heart, a tear in his eye. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you guys either. The big man took Lucifer's arms in his arms, and Lucifer hugged him back. The end.